2020 has been a crazy long wild year, and media has been the thing, I guess, that would save us, protect us, get us through it. Whether it be TV shows, movies, video games, it's all been thriving. But there weren't things that felt really memorable or amazing for the most part. But there were 3 shows I watched. One of them is super memorable, it's super recent, that got me through 2020, that got me excited to open up my computer and type in its name and pull it up. And they're 3 fundamentally different shows. One is a K-drama, never seen a K-drama before. One is an anime. And then one is like probably the most popular thing outside of like the Queen's Gambit this year that came out. So let's go into the TV show reviews. Let's talk about the things you need to watch from 2020 that'll get you like, all thriller, no filler. So I was sitting in Discord and my boy Ever was like, yo, Gabe, I'm gonna go brush my teeth, but for this 20 minutes, I'm gonna put a show on and you're gonna be begging me to not take it off. And I was like, all right, dude, you're talking out your ass. I'm pretty sure this is gonna be trash. He literally just had an anime on that was all rock climbing anime, and I was just like, what am I watching? I didn't understand it. So he puts on the show and I start watching and I'm like, okay, this is kind of dry. I leave for the first 5 minutes, and the only reason why I left is because I was not trying to give him the satisfaction of, yo, this is a good show. But after the 5 minutes, I came back and I was like, all right, let me actually give this thing a shot. I started watching it. The pacing was really slow, but it had moments that made me go, I'm like, oh, yo, okay, you got some here. I can get pulled into this world. Never seen a K-drama before in my life. Never wanted to see a K-drama before a day in my life. Boy, was I wrong. The show I'm talking about is Itaewon Class. Now, this is a super controversial K-drama. Most people think it's trash. Most people think it's overrated. Most people think it shouldn't be your first K-drama. I, for one, having seen 2 K-dramas to the date right now, I was super excited to see this thing. I enjoyed the majority of the show from the beginning to end. There was a little lull in the middle of that made me go, this is kind of dragging. But look, this show from episode 1, if you watch the entire episode, and you don't want to watch episode 2, something is wrong with you, because that episode 1 is one of the strongest opening starters for a show I have ever seen. You're talking about bars being dropped by the dad who's like, comes to his son, he's like, yo, here's some shoju, right? He's like, yo, take a sip of that. After having a hard day, right? Take a sip of that. I mean, how's it taste? My boy's like, Park Seori, he's like, it tastes sweet. And the dad's like, that means you had a great day. And I was like, oh my God, the bars are being dropped right now. And I remember watching this just like, yo, what am I watching? Doesn't make sense. What am I watching? It got me hooked to the point that I had to watch episode 2 and 3. There was no like, oh, I'm just gonna like finish on this first episode. No, it had me hooked until 10 a.m. the next day when Edward came back to the Discord. He was like, yo, you're still watching? I'm like, I'm on episode 9, bro. Like, I'm gone. And mind you, these episodes are not 30 minutes. They're hour-plus long episodes. And I think the thing that got me hooked into the show more than anything was Park's character, Saori's character. He was so adamant, like, I'm not crossing on my values, super Naruto kind of type of things, one of my favorite animes of all time, upholding, like, good things. And there was this very clear villain who was just like, dude, your vows are going to get you killed and it's stupid. You should bend your knee and this and the third. All types of terrible things. But he would still stay strong and steadfast. And that got me in there. And then also the dad, I love shows that have great relationships with the father and the son, or daughter and father, like whatever that combo is. I love the dad character. But what I love most about Itaewon Class was the handling of some of the side characters. I love side characters in shows. I think they're really the main course of any show, and it's not the main character. And some of my favorite characters in the show had some burner moments. Like, wait till you get to the last 3 episodes of the season and you'll be like, okay. But like I said earlier, this show was all thriller. Then it hit filler. It got really slow. It started super fast and then got really slow, toned it down, slowed it all down. And I can see how that would turn somebody off to be like, oh, I don't want to watch this anymore. This is not that exciting. The first 6 episodes were just bomb. And then we're in this little low period, getting to the end, waiting to get to the end. And also the handling of the romance for some people were like, you know, some people didn't get what they want. I got what I want. I thought that was the only way it was going to work in the end. And I was happy this was my first K-drama, because it also now gave me a little bit of a love for K-dramas, where I watched a following K-drama that 10 out of 10 better than Icy, 100%. And that was like super slow. I won't talk about it in this video, but Crash Landing on You, which was the second K-drama I saw, ignorant. I think it was super good. So to give Icy a rating, I'm gonna have to give it like 3 or 4 out of 5. Moving on to the anime part of this video, the show that I got put on this year with my friend Dan Lee was Haikyuu, the sport volleyball anime that went viral a couple times on Twitter. You've probably heard about it in some capacity. If you watch anime, you've definitely seen something about it. This was probably the biggest anime show of the year outside of Attack on Titan getting its final season. Mind you, we're on season 4 in this year, and right now we just wrapped up the entire season 4 because I had to take a little break because of the incidents that happened with COVID. It's done. Season 4 is finished. There's probably going to be 1 or 2 more seasons. I do think it's a good time to like start watching, to get invested and get involved. But I came into watching Haikyuu with high standards, right? I'm a big Kuroko no Basket fan. I love Kuroko Basket. It's so good. I love all the characters in that show. They were all animated, over the top, amazing things I like about anime. And I haven't seen a sports anime that has got me as hooked as Kuroko no Basket. And I'm not gonna say that Haikyuu got me as hooked as Kuroko no Basket, but it got me invested. 2 things. Hooked and invested, 2 different things, right? Hooked is like, I can't let go. Haikyuu, I was like, oh, I'll keep watching this. Like, this is interesting. This is good. And it has its juice, but it's not all thriller, no filler. It has its filler moments that I'm just like, my friend Dan Lee, who saw Kuroko no Basket, and that was deal, was like, yo, I'll watch Kuroko, you watch Haikyuu, and then we'll meet in the middle. Because like, I would try to get him to watch Kuroko for forever, and he was like, you gotta watch Haikyuu. He thought that Kuroko was too over the top. These people had superpowers. It was pretty much Dragon Ball Z meets basketball, and that the side characters weren't as great as the side characters in Haikyuu. And I thought that was entirely contradictory, because in Kuroko, everybody's really on their game. There's not a single wasted side character, whereas in Haikyuu, there's definitely side characters who don't get shine, don't get time in the spotlight. But also, I think all the Kuroko basketball games that happened between peoples and teams, they were super essential. Whereas in Haikyuu, there were games that were just, they're just filler there. They're just there to like get you in between matches and be like, okay, I understand why this here. Like little filler games that don't matter. Whereas in Kuroko, every game is do or die, right? Besides some of like maybe 2 or 3 practice games, every game was do or die. You either win in this game or you're out. Period. There's no comeback. There's no run back. But to separate Kuroko from Haikyuu and talk a little bit more about Haikyuu, I think that season 1, the animation was beautiful. I loved it. It's like kind of dreamy in a lot of different ways. It had a nice little touch to it that it drew me in. I didn't see stuff animated like that before. Maybe it was like that rough brush stroke or whatever kind of animation they were doing there. Really enjoyed it. It had enough there for me to be like, yo, I kind of like these characters like Nishinoya and Tanaka, 2 of my favorite characters for the show. Season 2. Hey, this message is for Josh, who normally edits the videos. No, dude, it's season 2, not season 4. I don't know why you put season 4. It's season 2. 2, I think, was dummy good because of this particular opening. This was probably one of the best opening songs I've ever heard in anime, and whenever it comes on, it's just like, "Tome fly," it gets you hyped. That shit triggers your heart. It gets you juiced up. You're in it. You're like, yo, we can fly, we can win. And that was a great opening, and that's why season 2 was like, I felt that season 3 was too long because there was one game stretched over an entire season, which everybody was waiting for, like that one game between Karasuno and I think it was Shiratorizawa. One of my other friends, Ben, he's like, yo, this is like the best season of anime ever. And I thought, like, dude, after a certain point, I was kind of getting bored of it. I'm like, all right, I need to see the angles change up. I got to see different things. Like, that was a long season for me. Out of 1, 2, 3, and 4, I think 4 is the best season, followed by 2, then 1, then I'll put 3 at the end. Was not like, you could go watch the Haikyuu movies and they probably do a better job than actually watching season 3 all the way. But that's a controversial opinion. Most people are gonna be like, you're crazy. How do you not think that? What I like most about Haikyuu is the fact that they don't overly use Hinata, who's the main character of Haikyuu, right? That first episode, you start getting a little tear going, introduce him, the struggle he's going through, never being able to play volleyball. You're like, yo, I kind of feel for this little guy, you know? And once he comes into his own, gets a team, and gets skills, they don't overly use him. They use him tastefully when it's important and is essential to the story. It's the same thing with like One Piece, right? If you threw Luffy at everything, Luffy loses his mysticism. You gotta limit Luffy's camera time because he's a very simple character. Just jump up, hit, smash, I'm Luffy, what's up? Same thing with Hinata. I just wanna play volleyball. Bah, bah, bah. Everybody else has to take the main stage to direct the story and move the story forward so that you don't get bored of seeing the main character, because the main character has to be special, it has to be great, it has to be like, oh my god, here comes Hinata with the spike. So I applaud Haikyuu for being able to find that balance in a very clean way that's not obvious that they're limiting the time that Hinata has on camera. Because in One Piece, you know why Luffy gets caught in these dumb situations where he's not able to use his powers or move around. It's because if he was freely able to walk around the story, then he would just one-shot everything, and then it's like, well, what do we have for a story? But my all-time favorite moment of the entire season watching this year was the fact that my man Tanaka got a cross spike serve, one of the characters who have no special abilities, the regular human being on the team, the rock, the Gibraltar, the consistency, the dude who keeps us together. I'm gonna give you this little tease of it, just a little tease, just a little tease. Amazing. He should be the main character of the series. I love him so much. So I'm gonna give Haikyuu 4.5 out of 5. Since Kuroko, there hasn't been a sports anime that's got me as hooked, as invested, as excited to watch sports anime. And I'm locked in, and I can't wait to see the next season. I hope it goes on for 3 or 4 more seasons, because I was kind of sad when the season ended. I was like, damn, can we get like 2 more games? Can I get some more? Hey. Not gonna get it, but can't wait for more. We need more. Now, to take a step away from Eastern media, Eastern content, things that come from Asia, we gotta show love to the Mandalorian Season 2. Oh my God. Mind you, when Mandalorian Season 1 came out last year, I didn't watch it till like a month or 2 after it was done. Thankfully, I was never spoiled because I don't read Twitter that much, right? So I was good. I was safe. I did not get ruined by the masses. I'm like an average Star Wars fan, right? Like, I love like reading the Wikipedias of things that happen in the Star Wars universe, all the backlore, the things like that, the side characters. But I wouldn't say that I'm like super excited whenever a Star Wars movie comes out, Star Wars show, Star Wars game. I'm not like, oh my God, I have to get this Star Wars thing. I need to have it. I know people who are like that, like my friend Ethan. So going into Mandalorian Season 1, I wasn't like, yeah, I have to watch this. And everybody was like, dude, you have to watch it. You have to watch it. I watched Mandalorian Season 1 from start to finish on my flight. I took a trip to Hawaii, and I was like, all right, this would be a good time to watch it. And yes, I saw the alert, and I was like, yo, that's a pretty good show. Like, I'm excited. Dude, did I think it was kind of overrated? I'm like, a little bit overrated. I didn't think it was like groundbreaking media. Like, oh my God, this is really changing the game. Also because they bodied my favorite character, which was the killing robot who was doing the spins and the... I love that guy so much. But Season 2 had a certain touch to it. It was different. I was excited to see it. I waited about 2 weeks till it finished to actually start watching it. So a little bit earlier than I anticipated. Season 2 fixed a lot of the issues I had with Season 1, and those issues being like, I felt that Season 1, we were just revisiting the same planets over and over again and seeing the same characters over and over again, and it was just like a constant lap around. I'm gonna run here, I'm gonna run back here, I'm gonna run back here, and it just really felt like it wasn't going anywhere, and it just felt like really drawn out. But Season 2, you saw different planets, you saw some old faces, you got involved with some new faces, and it had a lot of nostalgia baked into people who saw the first 3 movies, also the prequels, who saw Clone Wars, the TV show as well. If you are like a Star Wars fan, or at least a casual viewer who's seen most of the media out there around Star Wars, you're gonna watch Mandalorian Season 2 and you're gonna come out with like a, yo. Even if you're someone who's not into that realm though, this is why I think it was so great, because I was watching it this past weekend and my friend Abe was sitting in the chat, and I had it streamed in Discord. I know, illegal, yada, yada, yada. And I was watching episode 4. And if you see Mandalorian 2, you know episode 4 is like, and he had no idea who was in the episode. He had no idea what was going on, but he was sitting and he was like, yo, this show was elite. And it was elite. Great story, great fight sequences, great pacing, beautiful to watch. It's very rare for me to see a show or movie and be like, oh, that's perfect. That thing was perfect the way it was. I have no critiques, no complaints. The Mandalorian Season 2 was all thriller, no filler. It wasn't like other things that slow down the show or things that bog down the show, the pacing, the tone, the characters. It was perfect in every single way. It had enough old school nostalgia baked in for the old fans and the old heads, and it had enough to build on for new fans, people to get invested and involved who came off the first season. It was enough. It wasn't too much. It wasn't too little. It was enough. The choices that were made directly by like Jon Favreau, and I forgot who the other director is, or producer, the way they chose to shoot it and the actors they chose, Pedro Pascal, the man of many pleasures from Game of Thrones, loved him since Game of Thrones, so good. Of course, the homie Bill Burr coming in, doing his thing. Out of the 2 other shows I saw this year that really stuck with me, Mandalorian was the best thing I put my time into, and I have to give it a 5 out of. Show was so good. If you haven't seen it, I definitely recommend you do see it. And if you haven't seen any Star Wars things before, I don't recommend you see it. I think you need to go back, watch the prequels, watch the original trilogy, watch Clone Wars, maybe watch Rebels, and then when you come into Mandalorian Season 2, you're gonna be like, or Mandalorian in general, you'll be like, oh my God, oh my God, you're gonna get goosebumps. You're gonna have, it's special. It's definitely a special form of Star Wars media. And what's the best thing about it is that it's building all the side universes for Star Wars just from this one show. This is like actual storytelling. It's great. It's fantastic. But that's a wrap with my big ass mouth. I want to know what shows you saw this year that were great, amazing, things you would recommend to people you know. Let me know in the comment section down below. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next video. Have a great rest of your year, because 2021, we're finally here. Yeah, that kind of rhymed.